Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Bam Adebayo details how Heat broke out of 7-game skid versus Kings. Miami is 25-23 entering Friday's game against the Wizards. It has been a rough past few weeks for the Miami Heat as they were on a 7-game losing streak, which matched the 2007-2008 season where that team only had 15 wins that year. However, they come back with a force Wednesday night and defeated the Sacramento Kings inside the Casillas Center, 115-106, led by a collective effort. Heat star Jimmy Butler was on one with his 31 points, but Bam Adebayo came out of a major slump he was on during the skid and scored 16 points, collected 11 rebounds, and recorded 4 assists. He would start 0-4 in the game, but heated up afterwards, saying to Clutch Points that a key for him was getting into rhythm. It's rhythm. You don't know until it happens, Adebayo said. I started off slow, but then as the time went on, got into the game, and my teammates found me and got me the basketball. When on a losing streak lasting 7 games, one has to feel the anxiety and pressure a player feels during that time. However, Adebayo said after the game that he feels more so gratitude than emoting a sigh of relief after finally getting a victory. No exhale, just gratitude, Adebayo said to the media in the locker room after the game. Everybody held each other accountable and we went out there and did we have to do to get the W. Adebayo credits Tuesday's meeting as motivating Heat for Kings game. There are a bevy of reasons why the Heat came out of the matchup against the Kings with a victory, but attributing it to the widely reported team meeting Tuesday is where one should start. Instead of a typical practice, Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra and the staff instead decided to do a film session where it was described as a vulnerable time where things were said that needed to be said. Adebayo credited the meeting after the win as helping with Miami's communication. 100%, when asked if the team meeting impacted their performance. We were really working on our communication and I feel like we did a great job of that tonight. Really communicating, really talking through things. We had eye-to-eye communication. Adebayo stressing the whole game to let our defense be our offense. There is no doubt that besides the film session being used to prepare for their upcoming matchup, it was also used as a time for the coaches and players to be candid in what they want to see out of each other. The message was clear as Adebayo said he saw that communication when the Kings went on runs during the game, but the Heat didn't budge. We just needed to bounce back, Adebayo said. That's when you report Jimmy Butler was powerful during Heat's team meeting before Kings win. According to NBA insider Shams Charania of The Athletic and Stadium, the Miami Heat had a team meeting on January 30th and Jimmy Butler was powerful during the meeting. The meeting worked, as the Heat snapped their 7-game losing streak yesterday by beating the Sacramento Kings. Butler had a terrific game against the Kings. The swingman finished with 31 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in 34 minutes while shooting 10 of 14 from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc and 9 of 12 from the free throw line. The Heat won by a final score of 115-106 to improve to 25-23 on the season. A 6-time All-Star, Butler is averaging 21.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 1.2 steals and 0.3 blocks this season while shooting 49.8% from the floor, 43.7% from 3 and 87.9% from the foul line. He's 19th in the NBA in player efficiency rating, 22.1. Just remember that we are very fortunate to have a job that we get to hoop, that we get to play before so many great fans, Butler said after the Heat beat the Kings. We lost control of that for a little bit, the sight that this isn't as difficult. It could be a lot worse. The Heat are in 7th place in the Eastern Conference standings. They face the Washington Wizards tomorrow, a game Butler and company should win easily since the Wizards have the second worst record in the East. Butler, who has played for the Chicago Bulls, Minnesota Timberwolves, Philadelphia 76ers, and Heat, is making $45.2 million this season. The Marquette product will make $48.8 million next season and has a player option worth $52.4 million for the 2025-26 season. The Heat can sign Butler to an extension this offseason. NBA analyst proposes wild blockbuster trade sending LeBron James to the Miami Heat. Nick Wright has shared a trade package to take LeBron James back to the Miami Heat. We're a week away from the NBA trade deadline, and trade fever is running high around the league. NBA analyst Nick Wright hypothesized possible trades for LeBron James on First Things First, sharing a scenario that sees LeBron return to a franchise with which he won 2 titles, the Miami Heat. Wright also suggested some trades to send LeBron to New York and Philadelphia. He said the Knicks could trade Julius Randle and Evan Fournier with 2 first-round picks. In addition, he posited the 76ers acquiring LeBron by sending Tobias Harris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 1 first-round pick. All these offers are really bad, but the Heat one is arguably the most unfair. The Portland Trail Blazers were resisting acquiring Tyler Herro for Damian Lillard, so why would the Lakers accept that for LeBron James, the greatest player of this generation? Duncan Robinson's contract has been considered one of the worst around the league for years, and even a hot shooting season doesn't change that. Teams would take a pick just to acquire the Robinson contract, and we're supposed to believe an offer where LeBron switches teams for this? It's just not fathomable. Could the Miami Heat actually tempt the Lakers with an offer? It'll be impossible for the Heat, with the assets that they control, to make a move for LeBron James. The players in the deal would have to be Herro and Robinson just for finances, but the Lakers would reckon they could get a player like Nikola Jovic as a future star also. That would balance out the Lakers' roster around Anthony Davis pretty nicely, but still isn't an acceptable package for a name like LeBron. The Lakers would likely want draft picks from the Heat as well, but due to LeBron's age, they could be negotiated down to probably just 1 unprotected pick. At that point, does it even make sense for the Heat to rip its roster of assets for a half season of LeBron? James can test free agency this season, and the Heat could fail to re-sign him just because he wants to go play where Bronny got drafted. The story is wonderful. The Heat have made it to 2 NBA Finals since LeBron was last on the franchise and lost both times. Funnily, one of those times was to LeBron himself in 2020. Similar to James returning to the Cavaliers, he could return to the Heat and be the final piece of the puzzle for a franchise that's been contending for the last few seasons but doesn't have the roster strength to actually win it all. In reality, any price the Lakers would set for LeBron would be far more than anything the Heat would give up given James' age and looming retirement. James has never been traded in his career, and it doesn't look like it'll start now with a mid-season move away from a city where he and his entire family are settled. And you, fan, what do you think about LeBron James playing for Miami Heat? Leave your opinion in the comments.